Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me 1 second and I will open up the presentation here. Andy, are you able to look up the presentation there? For some reason, I can't share.
Okay, 1 minute.
Oh, I have it. I got
You got
it. Yep. So good evening, everyone. My name is Ylva Kovac, and I'm the Director of Admissions at AES. A very warm welcome and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here. AES is considered an incredible destination school for many families. It's a school with a long history of 68 years. And we hope today that you will get a quick glance of the AES educational experience. And now, without further ado, please allow me to introduce you to our director of the school, the head of school, Dr. Andy Torres.
Thanks, Ylva. I really appreciate everyone who's here tonight. And I, of course, want to thank our guests, but also my colleagues who are here to share with you their expertise and passion for their particular focus areas of work. We are running a webinar this evening, and so we have a Q&A section, and there's a button at the bottom of your screen. And so as we go through our presentation this evening, if you wish to pose a question to us, ask us the most simple or the most complex, please feel free to do so. We ask that you include only one question at a time. You can submit multiple questions, but only one at a time in each box as you submit them, and we'll do our best to answer those along the way. My colleagues and I are here to help and to clear up any lingering questions you might have about AES. I'm new here. I just arrived in Delhi in August, was welcomed to this amazing school. This is a school that I, as an international school professional of over 20 years, began my international school career back in 2000, 2001 in Saudi Arabia, and worked in the Middle East for 8 years, in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, 11 years in China, and now my stopover here now for hopefully a very, very long time in New Delhi. I have been in a lot of schools, 34 years. I began teaching in 1986, and I continue to admire the work that is conducted in classrooms by amazing teachers. But ultimately, I think we would all say we're here to provide our children with experiences that set a foundation for future success. So I'll have you change slides there for me. Ultimately, we have to be asking ourselves, what are we doing in our classrooms? What are we doing with our own children in our homes? And with the experiences provide us that give them those foundational skills to be prepared for what most certainly is an uncertain future. As we look back a year ago, what we could have imagined 2020 to be like certainly probably was never, what it turned out to be was never on any of our minds. And I think this year is a very, very clear example of how things have changed very quickly right in front of us, and we need to be light-footed and ready to pivot, and we need to teach our children how to do so. So and a great example of this is as we move forward, we need to think about how we can provide our children with both physical strength, but also the mental strength, the stability, and to show that we are concerned for not only their safety, but the safety of our community. We are focused on being a strong community, being flexible with our programs, and really truly focused on that idea that's inside of our mission statement, which is the joyful pursuit of excellence. Excellence in academics, excellence in athletics, arts, and service. And so as you think of a great school, and we all want to work in great schools, we want our children to go to great schools. Those great schools share some key purposes, and as we show here, we need to be adaptable. We need to show that we have a capacity to change. We need to show that we're truly learning environments, not only for the children, but also for the adults, parents, teachers, school leaders as well. We should be focused on well-being. We should use evidence and data to drive our decision making, and we should truly be focused on that idea of equity. And for us, that means personalization of learning in classrooms. So as your children grow up, they're going to be faced with some enormous changes. And those changes in their career moving forward is something that we're all going to have to take notice of. Go ahead, Ulva. Interestingly enough, I have 2 children in school right now, and our children who are in school right now, according to the US Department of Labor Statistics, estimates that our students will have between 10 and 14 jobs. But the interesting point is, and I'll let you go to the next slide, Elva. The interesting point is that's by the time they're 38, mid-career, 10 to 14 different career-based jobs. And this is on the trajectory based on future statistics. Some of these jobs won't even exist, don't exist right now. And so as we look at those future skills, the skills that your children are going to need in a decade, the employers, and I think this one's from Deloitte, tells us cognitive flexibility is key. That digital literacy and computational thinking is an obvious, but most importantly, you'll see judgment, decision-making, emotional and social intelligence, and creative and innovative thinking are going to be so important as we move forward. And let's be honest, sitting in classrooms, listening to adult, lecture directly to your children, and not have them truly involved in their learning is not going to give them these skills. And so this is what this evening's about. It's about what is it that we do at AES that teaches the entire child and gives them that experience to help them to garner these very important pieces of being a contributing community member and a responsible global citizen. And so tonight, I'm really happy to introduce my colleagues and have them tell you about their areas of expertise and their areas of passion. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Kovac and let her to move this presentation along. Thank you so much for coming. Please send those questions in to us.
Thank you, Dr. Torres. We'll watch a brief video first.
One of the things that I appreciate about AES is that it's not just about the academics, it's not just about the service, it's not just about athletics. We try to encourage kids to find that balance. This is a great facility here on the Tiger Turf where we practice with our soccer and our baseball programs. We do some track and field events here. We also have volleyball and badminton, and we have basketball. We have clay tennis courts, lots of opportunities for our students. Our middle school kids get a chance to compete against schools in India. So we're a member of ASIAC, which is a countrywide conference. So we compete against Bombay and we compete against Chennai.
In our high school, our students have an opportunity to be part of a group called MESAC. And MESAC is a collaborative of 6 international schools that are in the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, in Qatar with Doha, and in Oman, Muscat. Those international schools come together with our school. They come together to compete, but also to get to know each other and to travel to other places. From very young kids all the way to the time they graduate, there's opportunity to expand yourself outside of the formal classroom. Okay, well, welcome back again, and good evening again, everybody. Again, my name is Rick Nelson. I'm the Director of Activities and Athletics here at the school.
I work with our co-curricular programs, pre-K through 12. So athletics is part of that. I'm going to speak really briefly to some of that, but a few other points too tonight. But welcome to tonight. As Dr. Torres said, all of our programs are really driven by that mission of ours, which includes all of these co-curricular programs you're going to hear about. So next slide, Ilva. So along with that really powerful mission we have, hidden behind all those are some really important goals for us within our co-curriculars, whether it's athletics or in the arts or in service, any of these things. And that's those really important life skills that all of us want to attain as we grow older. Things like this, these examples of meeting new friends and working cooperatively towards team goals, whether it's on the stage or out in the soccer pitch, is really trying to come together with new friends, new people you didn't know, and achieve success. The idea of building a sense of efficacy, like the feeling that I can actually accomplish something, or we as a group can accomplish something. That's a real powerful developmental skill or part of ourselves that schools and programs can really work to develop. So our hope is all of these sorts of examples of youth development goals will drive all of our programs. So you're not just coming out for soccer, you're not just coming out for swimming, you're not going out for the theater production, you're coming out deeper than that are these really important experiences that we all as adults had them too. But we were trying to be very deliberate about moving these forward. Okay, next slide. To do that, we do it across the school. We start with elementary, and I'm pleased tonight, Janice Roper, who's our elementary school activities coordinator with our iPod program, is with us tonight, and she's there for questions if you have elementary specific questions. But between elementary, middle, and high school, we offer a wide range of clubs and activities that happen before school, during school, and after school. And kids can sign up for those and get involved on a quarterly or on a semester-wide basis. In addition to that, as was mentioned in the video, and I'll hit the athletics part especially here, in the middle school, we have a collaborative league with our sister schools in Mumbai and in Chennai to run our athletics program. In the middle school, we offer volleyball, tennis, we offer soccer, basketball, swimming, table tennis, badminton. So a wide range of athletic possibilities. The kids get to come around, learn and develop their skills, work together, and then compete in a association-wide competition at the end of a season. We do something similar for our high school with athletics. We have a seasonal program. In the fall, we run our volleyball, swimming, and our golf programs for athletics. In the winter, we run our basketball, soccer, cross country, and tennis programs. And then in the spring season, we run track and field and badminton and baseball and softball. So a wide range of athletic possibilities. We're not specifically a sports school, but your children will develop their skills and become very proficient as lifelong athletic possibilities through all these activities. But again, I come back to they're all driven by the mission of the school, and they're driven by our goals that are hidden behind that. We do this through some really talented faculty and even community coaches and advisors who help run these programs. And these become powerful role models for your children. As we get into high school, some of those very high school students become role models and help us with some of our programs in the younger grades. For example, our Saturday swim school program, which is led by our high school students teaching elementary kids swimming schools on a Saturday morning. So it's that kind of cross-age mentoring and development, which is all ingrained within our programs. So I'm here most of the time. Feel free to send questions here tonight for sure. But my email, I forgot to put it on this slide presentation, but it's rnelson@aes.ac.in is my email address. So welcome again tonight. It's great to work this school. This is my 5th international school. I've worked in Eastern Europe and Poland and Romania, in Southeast Asia and Vietnam and in Thailand. And this is a great school to land at right now because there's just a wonderful community. And I know that your kids will be quickly engaged in meeting friends and participating in many things quickly. So thanks and welcome again. And I'm going to pass it back to Ilva for our next presenter.
Thank you so much, Rick. We are now going to learn more about arts with Celine Lahert. And first, we're going to watch a little video about the art program.
But the arts are vital to our future. We have a very strong music program, a strong theater program across all divisions. We have dance. We have full-scale concerts all the way down to individual performances for every division.
The arts at AES are one of the 4 main pillars of our mission statement. So in the visual art department, we offer a wide variety of different courses. We have Art Foundation, we have Advanced Art, which is the next step up before students go into the IB. There are also more specific specialized courses that include sculpture and ceramics, intro and advanced photography, and new media art. After each semester, the high school will showcase work from every single course, and there's also a very important IB exhibition at the end of their 2 years. The visual arts at AES also provide students with the necessary tools to really understand concept, the elements and principles of design in terms of compositional thinking, and delivering a strong message in order for them to know the role of visual communication.
We have a lot of student agency here in the creative arts. It's not just the teachers controlling everything. We have student directors for dance productions. We have students selecting music pieces. It gives our students a lot of confidence, and we're always building the leaders of tomorrow who are used to getting up and speaking in front of people. So I feel very privileged to be a part of that, and in a few years, who knows, some of our theater students may be running the world. We'll see.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Celine Lahert. I am this year's head of department for the visual art program. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Ilva, are you sharing the screen or am I?
The screen should be coming on shortly. Just give me a second. Over to you, Celine.
Okay, we can just go right ahead into the next one. Wonderful. So for visual art, it really is an opportunity to have students build a creative, reflective, and critical way of being. And they're going to regularly question and explore materials, how they work, the ideas that come out of each material, and all the possibilities that art will bring. So through learning about discussing and creating art, next slide, please. Students are going to learn how to develop technical skills with all of the different materials that they will be exposed to, from digital arts, lens-based art tools, sculpture and ceramics, painting, drawing. I mean, there's so much that we offer because students have a lot of freedoms within the course through guidance. They're going to learn how they all express different things. They're going to learn how to tell stories through concept and message. And especially what I find very important in the arts is their ability to take risks in a safe and supported space. I think that's very important. And art really encourages them to do so. They're also going to learn about the role that art plays in the world, what kind of jobs require visual communication, what kinds of different types of art exist across cultures, and how can we learn from art from the past and art history, as well as contemporary artists. And so one of the fantastic things that students are able to be exposed to at their time at AES is the different field trips that we offer, the different artist visits that we have. We've had incredible opportunities to bring some of our students to trips like the India Art Fair that happens every springtime so that they learn from local artists here. We've also brought our students to the Venice Biennale, which has served as unbelievable inspiration for their growth and to continue building their passion for art and understanding how different artists approach some of the same topics that they are interested in learning about. And then with visiting artists, sometimes we'll have some coming in to share a certain specialty from the region that they're in. So we've had an artist come in all about block printing from Jaipur, and it was fantastic. And it was for a class that we used to offer called wearable art. So that will continue in their visual art experience. And they're also going to learn that art is just a way for them to feel empowered in what they're able to create and to leave their mark in the world. And discovery is half the fun. There's so much of that in experimentation and play. And they also learn how art is just a universal language. It's a way for them to communicate in ways that language doesn't always allow them to. Next slide, please. So through all of our offerings in the visual arts, whether it's just a taste through a course that lasts one semester or a more extended one that is a year-long commitment, they are going to create innovative, personal, and relevant art that will help them discover their own personal voices. And in turn, they're going to make sense of their life experiences. They're going to learn about the similarities and differences between them and their peers and celebrate that. And they're also going to come into the studio and leave the studio with this new sense after every class and after every year, a new sense of curiosity and open-mindedness, feeling more reflective, bold, empathetic, confident, and my favorite one, leaving feeling very inspired. That's it.
Thank you so much, Celine Lahert, our art teacher in high school. And now over to our music teacher, Miss Jamie Bolton.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Like Ms. Kovac said, my name is Jamie Bolton. I am one of our music department members at the American Embassy School. And we are really fortunate at AES to have a really healthy and robust music program. Students starting from pre-K all the way through the end of their 12th grade experience can experience and participate in music opportunities. Students from pre-K through 5th grade have music as part of their regular rotation of specials. And in the elementary school, they are experiencing music through singing, playing instruments, dancing, and they, in the elementary school, they're experiencing music through Orff, Feierabend, and Kodai instructional techniques. In the middle school and high school, students then have opportunities to participate in music ensemble classes such as band, strings, and choir. We also have a variety of other music electives for the middle school and high school students, like guitar, piano, and IB music as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for students to learn and to participate in music. And in addition to those curricular class opportunities in music, there's also a lot of additional opportunities for music in after-school ensembles and groups like a jazz band and a flute choir. This year we've started a ukulele club. So there's also an elementary school after-school choir program and an instrument ensemble called the Orchestra. So there's lots of ways for students to be involved in music in a curricular way and also in an extracurricular way. And our entire instructional model and program for what students are learning in music is based on the National Core Arts Standards, which are create, respond, perform, and connect. And because the music department teaches curriculum in music based on those 4 standards, next slide, please. The students are getting an opportunity to not just sing songs and do cute little things that they can perform, but they are becoming musicians. They're learning to go beyond the notes and really understand what is in the music, and they're able to talk about what's in the music and why, and they become music literate. They read the Western music notation and they can interpret those symbols for themselves, and they're not just parroting back the songs and things that they hear. Music making at AES is a very active and immersive experience where students are constantly involved in participating and making and creating, not just listening to music. We really work hard to make sure that students have a dynamic and engaging experience as they are participating in their music ensembles and in their music classes. And they also have opportunities to discover and reflect, and it's a way for them to express themselves. And we hope that if you have any questions this evening about the music department, that you'll feel free to ask us those, and I'll be happy to answer. In all the things that we do in music, we really hope to create a space where students feel like they have a place to belong, and that music can be their thing. I had a band nerd reunion with some high school friends several years ago, and one of them said, I used to think that the band needed me, but I realize now that I've grown up, I needed the band. And we hope to create an experience where students feel like they contribute something, but that on reflection that they realize that they also gained a lot personally from the experience. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions this evening about music at AES.
Thank you so much, Miss Jamie. I think I messed up the slides a little bit there for you, but thank you for speaking from your heart, Miss Bolton. And now we have Thomas Wesson, our art teacher. Theater teacher, sorry.
No worries. Yes, theater teacher. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Thomas Wesson. I am the high school theater and IB teacher here at AES, and I also manage our theater facility, which I get to brag about is a Broadway-sized 500-seat theater that we are very privileged to have, that we have concerts in and theater shows in. Speaking of theater shows, before I go further, I want to promote our elementary school online musical, which is happening pretty soon at 6:30 p.m. IST. And I believe Dr. Nada Collins will have the link in the chat for you at some point. Yes, there it is. And it will go live pretty soon in the near future. So hopefully you get to tune in for that. So theater at AES, I think as you saw in the video, I love theater. It not only teaches confidence and public speaking, but it's just super fun. I teach improvisation, Shakespeare, which I'm a huge fan of, and IB theater is something that prepares students for college and life and whatever direction they go into. We will see if some of our students get into leadership positions, but I would not be surprised if they do. So as you can see on the slides, these are some of the skills that Dr. Andy Torres mentioned at the very beginning of this. The skills of tomorrow are very much about collaboration. How do you bring people together under a common vision? We have supercomputers for a lot of things, but working with people is a whole other skill set. In theater, we practice those. And I love seeing students who are shy blossom into confident leaders. And it's usually done through the rehearsal process, trial and error. Next slide, please. Yes. Oh, well, I kind of paraphrased that, but now we have some time to talk about some of our extracurricular activities, which I also get to brag about a little bit. Every year, usually, we take a London theater trip. I organize and chaperone a trip to London, England, with between 10 and 15 theater students, where we see 5 or 6 West End theater shows, like Shakespeare at the Globe Theatre and the National Theatre in London. Along with doing 5 or 6 workshops with local master teachers there. We also have here at AES, the Visiting Artist Series, where we bring in artists from around the world to teach workshops in theater and dance for a week at a time sometimes. In addition, there's so many theater things. We have a full-length theater show every semester in usual times, of course. That I direct and produce, in the high school and middle school has their own as well. And I always select 2 student directors to take leadership positions in those shows and add their creative input to the whole process. The whole community comes out and it's a really fun experience. I can answer more specific questions in the chat if you have questions to put there. I could talk about theater forever, but I'm a little over time. Thank you again so much, and I look forward to your questions. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas Weston, our theater teacher. And now we are going to learn more about our service program here at AES. We'll watch a brief video again.
In the high school, one of the hallmark of our program is our service program. We have 12 service clubs that are run by our student leaders and supported by our teacher advisors. Almost 85 to 90% of our students in high school take 1 or more service activities every week. Each club brings in anywhere from 20 to 140 students in any given week, and they are teaching them, playing with them, and that's when I see our students are growing and learning and reaching for things that we wouldn't really necessarily be able to teach them in the classroom.
I'm given the opportunity to study in such a great community and such a great school, and so it's almost a responsibility or a sense of duty that I have to give back to whoever's around me. I learned so much myself about what it means to be a teacher, what it means to be an educator, what it means to help other people.
We have a Vivek Ananda camp right across from us, and we do a lot of enrichment programs with them. The things we teach them each class, or things I take as like general knowledge, it was how to make them grow as a person, and it made me think more about what I was doing and how I shouldn't be taking things for granted.
Thank you. And now we are going to hear from our organizer in terms of community service in high school, Ms. Vera Garg.
Thank you, Ilva. Good evening.
And the slides are coming shortly here.
As Ms. Ilva said, I'm the faculty coordinator for the service programs at high school, and we take service very seriously it's a big deal at AES. So as you know, our school motto is enter to learn, leave to serve. And really, I'm proud to say that over 80% of our students are involved in service, meaningful service, not lip service, and which takes them well beyond their comfort zone and well beyond the requirement. They go, we have a minimum sort of requirement. You must do X amount of hours per semester, but most of our kids so exceed that by by a big amount. So we are very proud of that. As you heard in the video, we have 12 service clubs ranging from educating students to recycling and environment work, animal welfare, human and child rights, medical work, and also assisting visually challenged and specially able children. And I'm also proud to say that have been running clubs for several years, and every year the kids innovate and do new things. But now in this semester, during COVID times, we couldn't, in most of our clubs involve interaction, and we couldn't, so the kids found creative ways of, for example, the ones who taught at the school for visually impaired, then developed books for the braille books, and the ones that worked with animal welfare made videos on how and on educating how to treat animals and so on. We run a program called Teach India, where we educated 32 students for this semester through our Zoom calls, and our kids developed creative and innovative ways in breakout rooms, and imparted the whole curriculum like we would have during normal times. So, service is in the DNA of our students here. All the kids remember a lot about the service they do, and it's powerful because they realize that it's not top down, that they're not just doing a favor or doing something, that they learn so much in the process too. And I think what we find is that when students become passionate for a cause, then then their life becomes meaningful. They're not less likely to fall into other kind of areas of trouble, and they get passionate about this. And we see that with a lot of our students. It's all student led, student run, and we have a service council. So all student leaders of our 12 clubs are part of this council, and we have our vision and mission statement, and then a lot of our students have got international recognition for the service that they do, and we've taken fundraising off the table, for example, because we found earlier every few days people wanted to do bake sales or donate money, and we want the kids to do action. We don't want, so we've taken fundraising off. We provide the funds through our annual fundraiser called Fall Fiesta, which generates a large amount for us, and then now we're not looking for funds, we just do the action and the funds are provided. So that's powerful too. And yeah, as you saw in the next slide, please, there are lots of, we have such a diversified program, from, medical aid to teaching other children to, advocating for causes through Amnesty and through Rights for Children. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. And yeah, the kids remember, it's a great school for service. Service is very powerfully ingrained in the lives of our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vera Garg, who has been with us for many years. How many years at AES now?
This is my 24th year.
24th years. Thank you. And we are now going to go on a campus tour, a virtual campus tour with our students.
Hi, welcome to American Embassy School. We're so happy that you're joining us.
Today we're going to show you our beautiful campus.
Let's go. When arriving on campus, this will most likely be your first stop. This is where the admissions offices, director, and assistant director offices are located.
Welcome to the elementary school. The elementary school is made out of 4 different buildings. They're all named after trees: Ashoka, Neem, Banyan, and Peepal.
We're so lucky to have an Indian artist called Dec10th make us these statues around our campus. Now let's go take a closer look. Wow, I love elementary school. It's so fun.
Yeah, especially the library and the makerspace.
Yeah. Welcome to grade 5. This is my classroom.
Welcome to the middle school. I'm Elizabeth and I'm in 8th grade. I'm staying in the rock garden, which is a part of the middle school. It's a great place to hang out during lunch and after school. This is the Hall of Peace. It's a multi-purpose room in the middle school. It's used for our weekly assemblies and hanging out during lunch and after school. This is the 6th grade hallway where they have all their classes. This is the bottom floor to the middle school. In the middle is 7th grade and on the top is 8th grade. This is one of the 6th grade classrooms. Something I love about our middle school classrooms is that it's flexible and comfortable. This is the Jalsa. It's a place for informal gatherings and a place to hang out before school, during lunch, and after school.
Hi, I'm Ellen and I'm an 11th grader at AES, and today I'm going to show you the high school. When first entering gate 2, to your left you have the middle school field and the 3 clay tennis courts. And to your right you have the anniversary garden and the red basketball courts. This is the Tiger's Den. It's one of the places that high school students love to come and eat lunch and hang out after school. Up ahead, we have our Stein Library, which is one of AES's original buildings. Let's go inside. When inside, you can see there are many books for both pleasure and for school. And the Stein Library is open both during school, after school, and on the weekends. When arriving at the high school, we have the high school office right behind me and the art classrooms right above. Just below that high school office, we have the theater and the art gallery, which is shared between all 3 divisions. Just inside the high school, we have the science department on our bottom floor, the English department on the 1st floor, social studies and world language on the 2nd floor, and the math department on the 3rd floor. The high school offers a wide variety of courses from AP, IB, and general high school courses. very fortunate to have a makerspace in the high school which offers electives like robotics and design, as well as the ability to come and be creative throughout the day. This is the High School Breezeway, another place for high school students to come and eat lunch, as well as a place to hang out and study throughout the day. Just behind the high school, we have our Tiger Turf, which hosts many MESAC football games, different sports, and PE classes. Welcome to AES.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. Do we have any questions? I haven't seen anything in the Q&A here yet. Dr. Andy Torres, maybe some parting words? Dr. Andy Torres, I think you need to unmute.
I am muted, and my colleagues would probably, in some ways, probably celebrate that. I want to thank my colleagues this evening. They continued to astound me with their depth and experience and knowledge. I was telling a potential parent today in the entry of the school, how happy I was to have my own children at this school. Their profound early experience in only just a few months and under very, very unusual circumstances has made my move here with my family to be one that's both eye-opening in a very, very positive way, but also filled with possibility. And I think I speak for all parents, and there's many of them on the screen right now who would say that their children indeed would get an amazing experience at this school. So thank you for Ulva for organizing this. Thank you, Rick, Celine, Thomas, Vera, Janice for coming, David for coming, Zai for helping us out, Nada, Jamie. I'm proud to be a member of this team, and I hope you join us at American Embassy School.
Thank you so much, Dr. Torres. Thank you, everyone. And also thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, the admissions team is here to answer any questions you might have after this session. Our email.
Yep. I just see a few questions have just come in through the Q&A.
Wonderful. So we'll take them straight away here. In this COVID phase, how have you switched to online, etc.? Could you share? Would you like to talk a little bit about that, Dr. Torres?
Sure, absolutely. Well, for the longest part of our fall, since we opened up in very early August, we have been in a fully online environment. And that means that our children have been learning through Zoom classes and through asynchronous activities that our teachers have been providing online. For the arts, and I'll let Jamie and Thomas and Celine talk about that a little bit for each of their areas. What I've been observing and have been observing as a parent is my children diving deep into the arts, but in the space of their own home. Now that we're in hybrid, which is some on-campus time and some online time, that experience is changing. And again, our children are getting a little bit of work in the face-to-face environment and then transitioning to the online environment. And I know Jamie, Thomas, Celine, you guys want to pipe in here? Let me call on one of you and that we'll start there. So Thomas, you start.
Sure, no worries. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, the arts transferring to online, it's been interesting, and I've enjoyed finding the opportunities in it. For theater, it provides an opportunity to focus on more original work, more individual work, like writing. So I've done a lot of script writing with my students, writing original work, putting them into breakout rooms to do improvisation together and write original scripts. And we go through the process like that. Shakespeare monologues, that's a great time to do that. And what I've noticed is now it's a chance to practice on camera acting. So instead of theater acting, which is a bit bigger and it's, about all stage, we can do on camera tricks. And I've experience in the entertainment industry doing TV and film myself, so I feel comfortable teaching it. Just little things like depth with the camera, using the frame somehow, and teaching editing skills. So in our Thespians Honor Society, we're making lots of original videos. We're recreating famous movie scenes, and the kids are having a lot of fun with it. It's not the same as the traditional way, but we're finding new stuff to do. And it's allowed us to focus on some cool new skills.
Excellent. Celine?
Yeah, so for visual art, in the online model, what students initially thought could be something very limiting is something that almost became limitless because they had to learn and discover resourcefulness using materials that they never even considered to be traditional art making materials. And then they realized what they have in their homes that can easily translate into something so unique, something maybe impermanent. And then that also teaches them the beauty of letting go. And then for something like photography, when they thought that they would have all these opportunities to go out and explore and capture photographs during travels or in their own backyard, a lot of them have noticed that they have everything they need. And if they just stop and look, they will notice a corner that's always been there that suddenly has so much beauty to it because they've changed their perspective, they've changed their mindset in it. And how we choose to approach visual art in this new format has really opened doors that I think will just serve them better.
Thank you. Jamie?
Because the music department teaches music based on the national standards and the four, I've lost the word, sorry. But because there's more to music than just perform, we've still been able to have really engaging and meaningful music learning opportunities because part of learning music is creating music, and that's can be done virtually and in person and in a hybrid mode. Part of it is responding to music. The music teachers have been having really meaningful and interesting listening activities and opportunities for the students to really kind of digest what's happening in the music and to listen for the details and then to be able to talk about that in an articulate and meaningful way. And students are also making connections to other subjects, to other curricular areas, to other parts of life. And it's not just the performing that's happening, though we have fantastic resources here at AES for music. And so our instrumental ensemble classes have been able to continue because the students have their string instrument at home or the students have their band instrument at home, and we're able to still, through our virtual means, still be able to play instruments and learn how to play them. Just today I had a student say, wow, this music class it's not just music. I've learned some science and some geology and some geography today, and we've even had a little debate, which that could be up for debate. But they felt like they'd made some connections to things through music and had found some meaningful experiences. And so how have our music activities been conducted? It's a little different because it's online, but the quality of the content and substance has still very much been there.
I'm going to go to Rick in just a second, but I want to make sure I touch bases with Vera because I know that our student service has still been active, even though we haven't been in school too much. Vera, you want to talk to that about just a second? You're on mute.
I'm so proud, and I briefly mentioned it in the presentation too, that every single club and all 85 to 90% of our kids at high school have been involved in service. And so it's just like nothing has stopped so for example, earlier we would interact with the community next door. Now the kids have prepared books every week with lesson plans, which they send to the kids next door. And then because we've developed such a long relationship, some of the adults then help at the camp deliver that, and it's just amazing. We're continuing. Every single club has continued. All the teaching programs have continued online. And yeah, and like I said, we run a club Tamanna with disabled kids, and now these our children have made videos every week, normally in the way they would interact with them. Now they've made videos, and then those kids watch that and get back to them. So it's yeah, we figured the whole system quite well during COVID, thanks to the ingenuity of our students, who we encourage to take on these sort of projects. So.
Great. Thanks, Vera. Rick, to close down, tell us about our kids have been very active in other activities other than classwork and service. What about on your side?
Yeah, there's lots of areas, and definitely Janice could speak to the elementary part. We've been running virtual activities after school in elementary and middle school since the start of the year. But maybe just a couple of quick little examples. I'm going to pull these arts folks into it. One in particular is happening right now in the middle school, and Ms. Bolton was talking about the band and our choir programs. There's our collaborative with Mumbai and with Chennai, and they're in the final stages. Probably the next couple of days we'll wrap up what would normally be a music festival where we all come together and we celebrate music and we have a big grand concert. Well, we can't do that now, but they've come together anyways, and they've produced what's going to be a really amazing product, a video of 3 schools coming together in the virtual world to give a major production about music and choir for our communities. So that's one example. The other example from the arts is I see 3 of our art teachers in visual arts and theater and band here, along with our choir teacher, are working with 5 other international schools in our region, in the UAE and in Qatar and in Oman. We're working together. The other night we had about 30 teachers together from all 6 schools working together to put on a senior fine arts festival for all of our schools together in a virtual world. Where we normally would come together, we're getting creative and making sure our kids are still connecting and coming together. And then my last example is in the service area in our middle school again, where our 3 schools in Chennai, Mumbai, and our school came together around the theme of leadership and service, and challenging our middle school students to really see their role as a leader for our school and community, but also service providers, that they can make a difference. And to help with that, we had a couple of our high school students come down and lead a whole workshop along with high school students from the 3 schools to help facilitate a workshop for our middle school kids about why it's cool to give back to your community. And so that was a few powerful examples of how we're adapting and taking advantage of some really unique opportunities to make sure our kids are engaged and doing things in new ways. Well, maybe a final note for the athletics part. We are in the process now of planning ahead for some virtual events into the next year we're hoping to do, including like in the virtual world, we still can come around, believe it or not, activities like golf and swimming and track and field, and still run meets and events around those activities. So we've got our creative thinking caps on to make sure kids are still participating. That's the number one thing. Youth participation leads to everything else. So we need to make sure our kids are still engaged. And then from there, making sure they're still connecting. So we can do that in the virtual world in still very powerful ways. So that's just a few examples of that's what's happening.
Janice, anything else to add to that?
Just to share a little bit from elementary school, we've had a pretty busy after-school activities program with virtual learning, and still just getting the kids getting their social interaction and learning and playing together with their instructors. So we have art activities and drama. There's doing some movie making and math and chess. So it's just great to see the kids still involved with their after-school programs and engaged in learning together.
Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Please do reach out to the admissions team at admissions@aes.ac.in if you have any other questions or would like to visit our campus. We do family visits as well with masks and physical distance. We'll hear from our faculty, some of our faculty now, just to wrap this session up. And they will tell you why they love AES. So thank you once again for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
I feel like we are truly loved here by everybody, and we all care about each other. So the students are incredibly diverse. They come from a wide range of backgrounds, and they're very comfortable sharing about where they come from and learning from each other. My colleagues are incredibly supportive and fun to be around. I love coming to work every single day. And the administrators are open to ideas, and as teachers, we're a part of the conversation. Every single person that is a part of the AES community is in an environment where they can be who they want to be, share with each other, and they feel incredibly supported and loved.
If you've ever been to Delhi before, you know that the people are innately kind and generous and love sharing the beauty and the color of India with you. And we do a really great job of making sure that we bring that into everything that we do, from lessons to festivals to regular daily interaction.
As soon as you walk onto our campus, you're greeted by our beautiful gardens, our facilities. The amount of green space and trees are just absolutely beautiful. It's a place where we can all come together to learn, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or a student.
What I like most about AES is our student body. They are the life of what we do and of our campus.
I used to teach here at AES 15 years ago. I left 13 years ago. I went to many different schools. I love teaching in other places, but the feeling of belonging and community that we have over here is something that I never found to the same extent as we have at AES. So I came back, and I love belonging, being part of this gigantic family.